Hey guys, it's Brent. Happy Saturday. Hope you're having a fantastic weekend, no matter where you are in the world today. I'm coming back at you with the second part of a very important video. I'm going to link down below to the first part of this video. So if you missed it, go watch that, because I'm telling you, the secrets revealed here are going to blow you away. All right, so this is part two. If you missed part one, go down to that link below, take a look at it for yourself. I want to show you guys something. In the last video, we talked about what was just above help, and I didn't have a picture of the graph. So I'm going to show that to you right now so you can get a look at what it is. And again, if you have not watched the last video, go back and watch that. You'll understand exactly what this is. All right. Now, this is the graphic for the fish tank effect. All right. And it's what we talked about before. Down at the bottom is reasonableness, is rightness. That's at the very bottom of the fishbowl. All right. And then in moving up, we catatonic, disaster, fear of worsening, hope, and help. And that's what we talked about last time. But today I want to talk about what is above help, because most people get to that point with their own steam. They save their own ass, and then they slink all the way back down to being right again. And being right is not the way to win at life. That's for sure. You certainly should know that by now. So I told you about the condition that most of our lives are in. It's running from the lowest station called reasonableness. And for some people, moving upward through help. Now you should know that while help is really a higher condition of life than reasonableness, it's still in the same fish tank. And that muddy tank is one that we call the fish tank effect, which is to say that all the fishes in the tank are not at cause with their lives, but they're rather at effect. And no matter where you are in the tank, you are in a negative position. The world is doing it to you. You're running your life reasonably, which you can readily and completely explain to anyone who'll listen. But you're losing all the games that you set up. And remember, life is just a game. And life is made up of little games that we set up ourselves. Now, if there's hope in sight, it means it's coming from someone other than you. And when you get help, you get it from someone else. So that if he ends up not really helping you, he did it to you. It's not your fault. You were all right all along. There's another amazing thing to observe. And it's that most people who are in the rightness game describe their lives as if they were on a giant roller coaster. And they can see that the car they're in, let's call that car life, is running downhill. Now they acknowledge that freely, noting that it's been that way for as long as I can remember. But, and this is the absolute height of stupidity, they continue to hope like hell that they'll soon reach the bottom. And then the trolley of life will be carrying them upward for once. You've heard the story. I've been the reasonable guy all this time, and I've been dealt dirt. Surely I have some of the good life coming at some point, right? I've earned it. I deserve it. The answer to that question is no. You've got nothing coming but more of what you've already had, more of the same. You are stuck. You're stuck in life, and you're stuck here in the fish tank effect. And unless you see the light and choose to leave it, your world is going to continue to be that fishbowl. And that world is going to continue to do you wrong. And that world is going to continue to do you dirty in your mind. And guess what you'll be? You get to be right. You get to be dead right. But you're going to be a loser all the same. So how do you get out of this stagnant tank that you're trapped in? Well, let me start by telling you that the light I mentioned is a very thin shaft of light indeed. Not many people see it in this fish tank, but it does shine there. And when you get right under it and look up, you can't see anything at the other end. That's why 99.9% of the people in the world decide that they aren't going to go up there and look around. They'd rather go back down to the bottom, to the rightness, and run their lives that way, because at least they know what's down there. They're used to it. Even failure and pain is almost comforting when it's something that you're used to. The unknown for many people is terrifying. Now, if you decide to go up that shaft of light, you're going to see that there is, in fact, nothing there. It's just there, and you're just passing through it. You're on a little trip up through the light beam towards the source, which you can't see. Imagine that you really are in that shaft of light right now, and begin to get the feeling that it's totally all right for you to be there. Even though you don't know what's coming, you have the confidence that whatever is going to happen is going to be better than the rancid fish tank that you've been trapped in. And guess what? You're absolutely right. Because the first thing you'll find at the end of the light beam is a condition of life that you've never experienced before. You know why? Because it's positive. And it starts with acceptance. You're going to have to work at getting this, because acceptance, true acceptance of everything that goes in and out of your life is necessary. And that's to say this: the past is gone, and there isn't a bloody damn thing you can do about it. You can't change it. You can't go back and make any changes to that. There's nothing that you can do. You can look at it, but there's no way you can change it. And if you can change or control anything in your life, it's nothing but the present and, of course, the future. The minute something goes onto that videotape inside your head and down the river into life, into the past, just leave it alone. Start getting that idea in your head to leave it alone. It's over. Just let it be there. So, for example, if at some point you decide this isn't working for me, and what Brent's telling me is not working for me, guess what? You don't have to bitch about it. You don't have to call me names. You don't have to bitch and complain and moan like you do about other things in life. Stop wasting your time. You can't get there from here. All you can end up with is rightness. So what is true acceptance? And how will you know when you're running your life in that condition? Well, the truth is only you will know. But let's try to give you just one criteria. When something happens that gives you every reason to be damn angry, and I mean angry, consciously choose to stop for just a second before you let your mind serve up all those vengeance pictures. Take a look at the event. Experience the truth that there isn't a single thing you can do to change what's happened. It's already locked into the videotape called the past. Well, now you're faced with the future. What is your purpose in going into vengeance? Are you simply chasing the tape to try to correct it? And when you get at the truth, go ahead and do whatever it is that you choose to do, and then leave it alone. That, my friends, is acceptance, true acceptance. And when you get to total acceptance, you'll find that living is really exciting. And it'll be that way simply because you'll have turned your life around. You'll be facing forward in your life for the very first time. It's like we talked about in the first part of this video. We're all in the river of life, in the canoe, facing the wrong direction and trying to swim upstream. Why wouldn't it be better to just turn around and face life as it comes at you? See what real reality looks like instead of the reality that has been colored by your past. When you get there, I promise you, my friends, you'll be so impressed with you and your new life that you will not be the same for a few days, maybe a week, maybe never. Because all that point, you will have elevated your life to a totally new place, a place that you've never been. If you want something new, you have to stop doing what you've always done. You've got to start doing new things. Okay? You're going to have a totally new orientation. Now, not a sexual orientation. You can have any orientation you want. But this orientation, I like to call the cloud of cause. And it's up there that you'll finally get to see who it is with that control stick over your life. Like the master to the animal with the stick in hand. Who is that in your life? Because I promise you, you have it. Once you really get that, you're going to find that you can just sail around up there on the clouds, getting happier and happier about you. And the sheer delight will come from just one simple fact. You'll know. And the word know is very important. because belief and faith and trust, but it's a knowing, an internal knowing. You know that you have control of the big game you're in. You also know that you've had it all along. It's so empowering. You are not here with life happening to you. You are part of it. You are co-creating your life. You have so much immense power that is dormant inside. The condition of total acceptance is just the beginning of the new life you'll discover when you get to the cloud of cause. What'll happen is that you get to another condition, one that's just above acceptance, and it's called responsibility. And again, I mean total and complete responsibility for everything that comes into your life. That's everything. No exceptions. Now, I'm going to give you an example to bring total acceptance and responsibility into clear focus for you. When you were unconscious about your life, you were simply turned the wrong way, looking backwards, trying to fish into the pictures of the past to justify the moves that you made. And over time, you had to handle so much exposed videotape that it ended up all over the place with no take-up reel. And it was a big mess. Then you got disgusted. So you chose to forget trying to sort it out. Instead, you became determined to find out what the source of it was. So you just headed up the tape, climbing like crazy to find out where it was coming from. Before long, you noticed a hatch door, and the tape was coming down from there. And you opened that hatch, only to discover that you were in your head. You looked around and saw that there were a couple of things up there. First, a big director's chair. It's empty. Next, you saw a huge roll of unexposed film, all neatly packed. Finally, you realized that the film was exposed as it rolled by your eyes. So imagine this picture that I'm creating for you. Inside your head, behind your eyes, imagine a videotape running that's recording everything you do. Sight, sound, people, smells, everything. There's also that director's chair up there because you are the director of your life. You are the architect of your destiny. Now, once you realize what is going on, you have amazing power because with this knowledge comes a choice. Do you want to sit in the chair or not? Do you want to take that director's seat? Because if you sit down, you'll find out one thing. This isn't one of those chairs you just buy, on the floor at a furniture store. This one was made exactly for you. It's comfortable. It's relaxing. It fits all your spots perfectly. You'll come to the stark realization that you really are the director. And that's what you wanted to be all along. You'll really get excited when you point your eyes forward and actually see what it is that you'll be filming. And the prospect of returning to where you were, being inundated by used film, buried in it, sinking in it, confused by it, frustrated by it, it's one that you immediately reject. Because why? It's pure insanity. You chose to sit where you are, right there in that chair, directing the movie called your life. And now you get to see that I've just done something to you. A rough equivalent would be a picture of you and me in a big yacht out on the open sea. I'm steering. Suddenly, for no reason, I jump overboard. And as I go, I yell, "Ship's all yours." And the ship I just abandoned is the one you call your life. So now you've got several choices. You can spend the rest of your life looking backwards at the point where I jumped, shaking your clenched fist at me, screaming and yelling. You can refuse to take the wheel and go below decks and cry, or drink some booze, or snort some cocaine and hope like hell that the boat somehow, mysteriously, finds a safe harbor. Or you can do what every successful person in the history of forever has done and accept the fact that things are different. Things have changed. So in your case, I'm gone and you take the wheel. Steer your damn boat. And you better get the notion that I don't really care what you do because it's you. It's your life. And if you get with it, you'll see that what you really wanted is to be just where you are, the captain of your own ship. You'll find that it really is a breeze to be at the helm. And before long, you'll realize that you actually do know where you're going. Hot damn. And of course, there's no one to blame if you don't get there but you. You really get conscious about what you're doing because you don't want to wreck the ship. There's a valuable piece of goods you have control of. This ship, you don't let it drift anywhere. You watch where it's going. You're the captain. You're proud of this beautiful ship. And every sailor knows, I've done a lot of cruise ships in my life. And even on cruise ships, the captain is the man. He's responsible for everything that happens on the ship. And he's not just partly responsible, he's totally responsible. You know, like the old saying, the captain goes down with the ship. As you look ahead to responsibility, you're going to see that there are many events or conditions or situations in your life where they come into your life where you can see a direct line of cause and effect between you and between what happened. And you'll find that you're ready to take responsibility for those things. But there are other circumstances where you'll look and you'll declare truthfully to yourself that you can't see any connection between you and the end results. So how could you be responsible? Here's what we do about that. First, take my word for it. You were at cause in the matter, no matter what it was. It's not different. All these different excuses, I can promise you, you were at fault. Second, just sit there and be totally willing to accept responsibility for whatever it was. That willingness to be responsible, that is the key. And when you get through the experience of being willing to take responsibility for everything in your life, you'll intuitively understand what I mean. And that experience will lift you even higher on the cloud of cause. Now, I want to acknowledge that as you look ahead from where you are to the total responsibility that I'm talking about, it appears that you'll be carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. But again, the only way to know is to experience it yourself. Don't let me or anyone else lead you up any more tunnels without getting the cheese. Go through it and see for yourself. Then, if it doesn't work, pull the plug and sink it. Now, my experience with total responsibility is absolutely unbelievable. First, you must understand that there are two sides to every coin. One side is positive. That is, you get to take responsibility for all things that go exactly as you want them to. That side has turned into 95% of my life, and I get to take responsibility for it. All the time it's happening. Then there's the negative side. You'll find yourself filming a massive traffic jam on the freeway and ask yourself, why did I do this to myself? What am I getting out of it? You'll find yourself driving around looking for a parking space for 20 minutes and asking yourself, why did I do this to myself? You'll discover a long line of people at the bank and ask, why am I doing this to me? And on and on and on. What will absolutely astound you is the fact that when you're willing to be responsible for everything that happens in your life, you'll simultaneously discover that you really don't want to be hassled. And it's then that the hassles will vanish. They will actually begin to disappear. Now, when it first began to happen to me, I could not believe it. I called it luck. But you must understand that the opposite of luck is unluck. And that translates to someone else doing it to you. Nobody ever did anything to you. When you get that, it'll elevate you to an even higher place on the cloud of cause. Your cause, coincidentally. Now, I want to relate the experience of the next condition available to you up there on the cloud of cause. As you begin to live life, your fullest life, in the condition of responsibility, you will encounter two questions. Who am I? And where am I going? The answer to who am I is that you're simply the human being with the choice to make. Note that I said choice and not decision. My definitions are as follows. When you choose, you know that your range of options is limitless. That is to say, if a person approaches you with two items and demands pick one, You understand that you can always choose to deal yourself out of that game without making the selection that the person wanted. When you decide is when you think that there are only the two options that he's presented and that you must decide on one of them. The important thing to know is that in the game of life, you don't have a choice between choosing and not choosing. You must make some choice and then live with the consequences. Or you can choose to take a header off the Golden Gate Bridge. But guess what? That's also a choice. You just don't get to live with your choice for very long. Acknowledging that the basic truth will bring you to a new condition on the cloud of cause. It's one that I call recognition. Basically, it's the recognition that when you've got the camera out there looking in front, you won't always know exactly what you'll be filming in the future. Now, that recognition carries with it another condition called uncertainty. That is, when faced with a choice, you must choose, and you know that. But how will you know if the choice is appropriate? What you will find is that your life is running so well that you'll always be willing to make a choice, that you will always choose, and it's going to be okay. The truth is that you will intuitively know which choice to make. You'll be responsible for that choice, and you will totally accept the consequences of that choice. And the absolute truth is that there is no certainty on this earth. None outside of yourself. But where am I going? What's my purpose in life? I must defer that question to a video that's going to be coming in the very near future. We've got to do this in a step-by-step process because all you need to know for now is that you're getting there. I promise you, you're getting there. And of that much, you can be absolutely certain. Now, I want to deal with the highest condition I can conceive of in this game called life. Just a notch above recognition is the space called source. And when you get there, your inner glow will capture all those who come within 5 miles of you. This is the condition wherein you look, see, and know that you alone have created the game called your life and everything that it contains for you. You know that you set it up, including all the rules, and then you go about winning or losing it. And at that point, you'll discover that you never wanted to be a loser. So you're a winner all the time. And the unbelievable part is that no one loses. Life is incredibly beautiful when you live that experience. No anxiety, no fear. It really is unbelievable. There's no way to describe it to you. And I've been trying. You get all the cheese you've ever wanted, like the rat in the story I gave you last time. Now you're ready to see how to create all this cheese, whatever the cheese is for you, from the people in your game. So how do you get all the cheese you want out of life? Well, it depends on how unreasonable you can be. Because we've seen quite clearly that unconscious people, well, that's the majority of people in this world, are living their lives down in this negative place called the fish tank effect. Most of them, in fact, are at the absolute bottom of the tank. What is that? We talked about it already. It's rightness. It's reasonableness. Boy, are they reasonable about their lives. And now you know where that leads. Where does it lead to being reasonable and right about everything? Straight down into a statement from the afflicted that goes, damn, look, I don't understand. Look at all the reasons I should have gotten blank. Why I did this and I did that and I did this, but I still lost. Something is definitely wrong with this world. The world is out to get me. The universe hates me. Now you can fill in the blanks with your own personal experience because you're intimately more familiar with the situations than me. Because why? It's your life. What I want you to get from this discussion is the fact that the people who are really stuck down there at rightness are really stuck. I chose that word for a very important reason. They are firmly believing that they're right. They're genuine when they want to spend the next 2 hours having you listen to the tale of woe of theirs, right? And why do they want you to do that? Because they want you at the end to agree with them. Similarly, people who approach you with a point of view different from yours really believe that theirs is correct and yours is in error. Get this. Any person who is floating around unconsciously is truly unconscious. His or her mind is serving up pictures which are intended only to make him survive, which means he must be right at all costs because the mind believes that failure is death. And very importantly, in getting what you want from people, you must get to the point of acknowledging and accepting the genuineness, the perfection, the imperfection, and the hard reality of what they believe. In getting what you want from them, you must try to change the fact that they're right. And no, you just acknowledge it and you leave it alone. In fact, one of the key guidelines in getting your life to work is so simple, it may stagger you. It may knock you out. It may blow your mind. Give up being right. The biggest breakthrough in life for me, for so many people that I know, for our clients, for our followers. Give up being right totally and completely. Let the other guy be right. You go on, you win the game that you set up. And please notice that when I said that, I didn't say give up what you really want out of life. I just said give up being right about it. You can go out and validate this 50 times a day. It makes your life work, and you will naturally get higher and higher and higher as you see what's happening with you. The following experiences, which I'm going to share with you, will give you some tangible validations. Since they're so common, you will also find some that fit your experience to the letter. How did they come out for you? Did you win the game that you set up? Would you now? Look, imagine this life situation. I dialed information once out on the road on tour, and I asked the operator for 2 numbers. Now, she informed me pretty quickly that she couldn't do that because it was against company policy, and my reply was fine. I understand that. But you see, my problem is I'm in a big hurry to make an appointment, and I'm running late. How can we solve it? What was the result of that situation? She gave me both numbers and no further questions. Let's take something else. Friend walks up at the airport holding a lamp, large lamp, not in a box, just purchased it, was flying back to Palm Springs. Again, it's unwrapped. So as he's approaching the counter, the ticket agent takes one look at it and says, "You can't take that aboard, and I can't check it if it's unwrapped." Now, my friend's reply was fine. I understand that. But I have a problem that I have to make that plain. How can we get this lamp to Los Angeles? The result was the agent smiled, offered to wrap the lamp and send it to LA on the next plane. In fact, it was delivered to my friend's house about 4 hours later. It actually made it home before he did. Think about this. A client of ours was called into the president of their company's office with another gentleman that he works with. And both of them were told that the budgets could just not carry them anymore. Now, my friend flew into a nasty argument, anger problem, insisting he'd been done wrong. He banged his fist on the desk. He stormed out of the office. He slammed the door behind him. He looked, the other person looked the president directly in the eye and calmly said, I understand your position. As a matter of fact, I've been working with the budget, so I know how tight they are. But look, I have a problem. I have no money. I have no car. How can we solve that? Well, the result is the second guy left the office with 1 more year, a year's additional use of the company car, and a 3-month cash advance on a part-time consulting contract, right? So 2 people facing the same situation, one flies off the handle, doesn't get anything. The other one faces the situation, deals with it, ends up getting what he wants. Now, there's so many of these kind of examples which illustrate clearly how a person could be you. Anyone can get life to work for them. But right now, I want you to look at these experiences and really get what was going on. Right now, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. If you're doing something else, if you're multitasking, give me your undivided attention. All right. I want you to understand the first thing you're going to see is that there's always a choice to make when you're confronted with someone trying to make you wrong. You can choose to make him or her wrong, and that'll get you into an argument without fail. Now imagine I could have lashed back at the operator on the phone saying, oh, come on, that's a bunch of crap. I mean, if you don't give me the second number, I'll just call back again and get it. So you might as well give it to me now. And guess what? I wouldn't have gotten it, but I would have been right. I mean, God, that's not a hard job. You're sitting there all day. What would have been, the problem with giving me an extra number? And the policy of one number at a time is just stupid. Well, you can get into a 10-minute argument about it, but I'd rather have the cheese. Thank you. And that's exactly what I got in record time with no problem at all. As a matter of fact, you have another opportunity to get people to assist you in getting more cheese faster than you ever dreamed of. All you have to do to get there is return a thing called recognition after you've won the game you set up. So that equates to, in the operator situation, me saying, operator, I understand your company's policy is not to give out two numbers at once, and I really appreciate the fact that you've done it for me. Thank you so much. Or when the gentleman left the boss's office, said, I understand that money is really tight, and I really appreciate that you've done for me. Thank you. And guess what? He meant it. After all, he got what he wanted. As you look at life, you'll see that there's so damn little return recognition being dealt out by people to others that if you start this practice, when you win your games, you will leave behind a group of loyal followers, people who will go out of their way to help you get what you want the next time you run into them. They'll look at you and they'll say, hey, he understands me. And guess what? You do. Then you get to derive even greater satisfaction when you see the glow in their eyes. Man, life is great when it's working for you. When your life begins to turn out this way, you're going to see that the easiest thing to do when you approach someone with your game is to deal it to him from his vantage point. And that lets him do what you want right away without offering any argument. Just get behind him for a minute. Look and know where he is, then start from his position. Look, I approached one time. I approached one of my publicists. I needed to get some work done, some ad slicks done. Right? She has so many different clients, and I was about 2 or 3 weeks wait time. Right? So I went to her and I said, Jessica, I'm looking at your desk. As a parent, you have a million things to do, but I have this special job. I got to get done by 3 p.m. for shows this weekend. Can you help me? Well, the result is she returned the artwork 2 hours later. Experience the results you get when you open with people by getting into their shoes, by letting that be all right with you and open the conversation from that position. Let's look at you and a situation you might find at work. You want a raise. You feel justified, and you haven't heard a word from your boss in a year. Since you already know how to get into an argument with him on the subject, I'm going to skip that and move on to ask you to look at this example. Boss, I understand that the pressures here are really heavy and that you've got a lot of things on your mind. But my problem is I need more money, and I haven't had a review of my salary in 12 months. Can we talk about that? There are other games which you will insist you did not create, but nevertheless find that you must face. Like when someone comes to you and insists, you have to do this for me. The situation is no different. What you should do is simply take that split second to look at what's being presented, choose whether you will play or not, and then state your purpose without making the other person wrong. So imagine the boss approaches you at 5 o'clock and it's quitting time, right? And he shouts, you have to work overtime because Bill didn't show up. Now look, you have something going on tonight. You look and you choose not to do that. So you reply, I understand that you really need someone to work overtime, and I would normally do it in a heartbeat, but I can't tonight because I've already made plans. I simply can't break them. Now what you must do is go out and seek validations for you. Perhaps you've looked at these examples and you disagree with their workability. There's no bullshit here. What's happening is that you're missing one very, very important element. that of being there and experiencing the situation. Because there is an invisible force at work, which is difficult to describe to anyone, that of the place from which one comes when he makes a statement. By that, I mean that you're not flailing around unconscious anymore. You've stopped, you've looked, you've chosen, and you've stated where you are. And people can see the difference. They can see that you're really coming from a yes or no position that you've delivered. They can see that you're not a person who can be manipulated. You mean what you say. But guess what? They're still not wrong. You didn't make them wrong in order for you to be right. There's something I want you to consciously test. It is my theory that 50% of your life will work if you simply give up being right. And for most people, for me, it was 80%. Some people it's 90%. But just go out and look for 50% in your life. That's not a bad average, a change you can make overnight. The actual results will blow you away because there will be a couple of additional things going on with you. One of them will be that you will discover that your life gets very consistent. When you say something, you mean it. People get to know that over time. You're not wishy-washy anymore. If someone brings you a game and you choose to play with them, you simply say, fine, I'll be glad to do that. And then do it. Don't bitch about it when it's over. You allowed the game to take place, and now it's just back there on the video. Accept it. It happened. It was. It's gone. You can't change it. Another thing you'll discover is that you'll have more time on your hands when you avoid problems. As you look at your unconscious life, you routinely got into 15-minute, 20-minute arguments about whether or not you were going to do things. Now you'll find that you save all that time. And if you were responsible before, you are going to be hyper responsible now. You get to have all the cheese, and it really, you take pride in it. You take pride in yourself. You're winning games. There's nobody left behind in an upset state. Life is absolutely beautiful when it's working and working correctly. You don't have to take advantage of someone else. You don't have to beat someone else in order to win. Competition is not the way. Creation is the way. Now, something else is going to dawn on you, and it may have already, and I want to address it right now. It relates to the power that you're going to have over your life. As your games begin to work exactly as you want them to, maybe for the first time in your life, you're going to start to have occasion to stand back and question the ethics of having it all go right for you. First of all, you'll be correct in addressing it because there is an unbelievable, almost incomprehensible amount of power and control that you're going to be exercising over your life. And that power will inevitably involve the lives of others. You might get the notion that you're actually manipulating people, and you'll be right again. At that point, you'll have another choice to make, whether to be the manipulator or to return to being manipulated, because that's all there is. History supports the massive power behind giving up being right. It's called surrender. And I've talked about many times, and Catherine and I have both discussed Michael Singer's unbelievable surrender experiment. If you've never read it, take a look. Surrender is not waving the white flag. It's not succumbing. It's not giving in. Take a look at Japan and Germany. Their currencies are the world standard. The Japanese already own everything that's worthwhile in Hawaii. They're now moving into California and the rest of the world. You already know the country of origin of the largest selling imported car. When the Second World War ended, what did they say? What did they say to us? Hey, you guys are right. We give up. Take our guns, take our ammunition. But you've left us with this problem that you've bombed the hell out of us, and now we have to rebuild. How are we going to solve that? And guess what? The U.S. played their game. While Britain, which was our ally, didn't get enough money to do anything over there. Japan, Germany, we gave so much money to rebuild those countries. Now let's take a look at one of my favorite subjects. Girls, guys, what do they call ladies, the fairer sex? Some of them, the smart ones, they've known this secret all along. It's you can see it by I'll give you an example. Okay, the husband comes home from work. We know, dad, the cornerstone of the family. He's the power. He's the strength. He finds a a bill from the charge card, right? Which says he owes a $900 maybe for a couple of dresses and new bikini, something or other, right? And he's pissed. What the hell is this? Don't you know we are in hock up to our eyeballs? Sure she does. And she also knows not to question the wisdom of the king. So she replies softly, I know, honey. You're right. I spend way too much. But I just wanted to look nice for you when we go to the Virgin Islands next month. Now, what is the husband going to say? Case closed, right? Take a cold, analytical look at what happens to games when you give up being right about them. The logical implications will literally shatter you because it is transparent that what you're doing is simply acknowledging that what they're saying you can't do or have is totally okay with you. But then you turn around and do nothing but repeat the request for the same thing. And guess what? You end up getting it. What is going on? It's simple. It's the brain. It's psychology. One word or phrase like fine, I understand that, or yes, I got that. It serves the purpose of closing the rightness door for that person. And then he's open to deal with your problem. That is, the person you're confronting can only deal with your problem if his mind tells him that he's going to survive. And you've told him nothing more than his present position is perfectly all right with you. You're acknowledging nothing but the fact that he's genuinely where he is. He then concludes unconsciously that he's going to survive. And now that his situation is okay, you're left with a problem, which you deal right back to him for a solution. What is happening here? Well, you're creating a safe space. You're creating a safe space for the other person when you let him be right. It's as if he peered out from behind a large, heavy door of defense and stated that this is my position. Well, you acknowledged him and you tell him to come out. It's okay. Don't be afraid to have that position. Again, of course, you're doing this, subconsciously to him. He doesn't realize it's happening. But you're okay with where he is. You're okay with what he's saying. He doesn't have to defend himself or make himself right about where he is. You close that rightness door simply by saying, fine, I understand that. Now, if you were being reasonable about your life, you'd say, that's dumb. That's acting like a child. And let me be the first to acknowledge that you'd be right. But it also happens to be the key to getting what you want out of life. And what you want out of life is what you want out of it. Nobody on this earth gets your ideas and your goals and your objectives and your purposes for you because you're setting it all up. And it's one large game with a never-ending series of mini games. And the only choice you have is whether you want to win or lose. What I've done is simply to let you in on how to win. If you now choose to lose, well, that's your choice and it's your life. Nobody else really cares how it comes out for you anyway. We've all got our own games to worry about. So to get people to assist you in getting your cheese, you have to be unreasonable. You have to recognize that you're creating problems for people when you create games for them to play. Because from a logical standpoint, nice guys don't hand their problems to others. You would certainly never hand your problems to your friends, would you? Well, the fact is that you were constantly handing them your problems. But those problems related to agreement and rightness. And they solved them for you. Their valuable time was spent listening to you and agreeing with you. So it seems that what we're left with is an issue of semantics. That is, in your unconscious state, you didn't think you were handing your problems to someone else for a solution, but you were. You were doing that all the time, constantly. The only difference is that now you have them serve your real purpose, that of winning the games you set up. The fact is that people have an endless list of their own problems. Some of them they'll never get to in their entire lifetime. And I observe that they're always interested in taking on more. So you might as well get yours solved before they get any other offers. If you will simply leave them with recognition for what they've done for you, they will actually appreciate you for what you've done for them. Sounds fair, right? Being unreasonable with others is only part of the secret to winning the big game. Another clue is in being unreasonable with yourself, especially about where you want to go with your life? And the answer begins in our next video. Part 3 of this video is coming on Monday. So make sure you pay very close attention to that, because these secrets will literally change your life. Everything about it. You will be a completely different person. Do you need some extra help in your life? Well, it may be time to start aligning your goals and your objectives with what really matters to you, and then move them powerfully forward in your life. It's time to take your vision and your commitments and invest them with a new possibility and a new power. Focus on your specific interests, those areas where you'd love to have a breakthrough or make some sort of significant impact. Accelerate what you're out to accomplish and address what matters most to you in your life. I've been doing this for 30 years, and my proven one-on-one coaching track record, I promise you'll experience a direct and an immediate difference in realizing your goals. Let me tell you how it works. My personal mindset coaching program is very powerful. It's very dynamic, and it's one-on-one. It's a one-on-one interchange. I will work with you to clarify and to powerfully align your goals and your objectives with what matter. We'll talk, we'll listen, we'll widen your perspectives, we'll explore what you want to focus on, what you're passionate about, where you find yourself getting stuck, and what structures and practices and timeframes will support you in achieving your goals. I promise you'll leave your sessions with new freedom, because you'll have taken steps toward what you're out to accomplish, what you've been waiting for your entire life. You can create a short-term or a long-term coaching relationship with me, and I will help you empower yourself, help you fulfill your ongoing goals and your objectives. Now, this is not some cookie-cutter program. This is custom tailored for each and every client. We meet once a week, virtually, via Zoom, camera to camera, and it is delivered in conveniently scheduled sessions, again, virtually. My programs are available in all sorts of packages, but we've got a special running right now. We have 2 spots open, 2 spots left. We do 10 3 times a year, and we have 2 open right now. If you'd like some more information, the address is on the screen there. Go to brentwebb.info/coaching. You can get all the information you need. Now, if it's corporate training that you're looking for, it's something we're doing that's brand new, where we're actually working with employees, and we're changing the way not only they see themselves, but they see their boss, the company, and the work force at large. So if you'd like some information on that, it's actually on the same page. Just go to brentwebb.info/coaching. Go all the way down to the bottom, and you'll get the information on our employee mindset training. And it changes everything. If you have not joined our Facebook group, well, what are you waiting for? We are a community. We are a family of like-minded people. We are banded together. We're helping ourselves and each other. We're empowering ourselves. We're realizing there is so much more to life than we ever realized. We're able to make positive and lasting changes in our life. We have so much content each and every day. We have such fantastic members, and we would love to see you there. So come over and take a look at the group. It's available at Facebook, facebook.com/groups/students of self-empowerment. It's facebook.com/groups/students of self-empowerment. Also, don't forget to join our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Taylor Webb Television. Over 200 videos. You're able to deal with, no matter where you are in your journey, you'll find fantastic videos to help you along the way. That's what we're all about. That is why we are here. It's all about helping you to see the real picture, helping you to see where you really are in life and how you can make those real, lasting changes. Now, if you'd like to support us, you don't have to do that by coaching or buying products. I mean, of course you could. We'd love that. But you don't have to. If you'd like to, you could just do it by sharing our posts, commenting, liking, watching each video on YouTube, sharing with your friends. The engagement we receive from that gets this message out. This is how we change the world, my friends, because you do it by changing yourself first And then everything in the outside world changes. You don't have to have murder and war and terrorism and bullshit. You have to connect and be okay with yourself. And when that happens, it grows. This movement grows worldwide. So join us, youtube.com/Taylor Webb Television. Now, again, we're back Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, each and every week with brand new videos. I'll be back on Monday with the second part of this video. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I close all of my shows the same way, no matter if I'm live on stage or in person. Here, streaming on video, goes like this. Don't worry. Be happy and feel good. I will see you Monday. Have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy it.
So excited. I want to take just a moment and introduce you to something I am so proud of. It's my brand new Mind Power Secrets home study course. And it's one of the very first of its kind for transformative learning. And from that awareness comes a fundamental shift that leaves people more fully in line with their own possibilities and those of others. This shift is the single most powerful thing you will ever do in life. Students are able to think and act beyond their existing views and their self-imposed limits in all areas, your personal life, your professional lives, relationships, family, whatever matters to you. Now, my goal is personal discovery. That's when a moment occurs and a new ability is yours. You become so confident in what you've learned, and those new abilities become yours forever. Now, I've spent years creating this program. I feel like a proud father. This course is about that fundamental shift in what's possible in our lives. It's taking control of our mindset because it's ruining your life. This transformation is not a one-time thing, but an ongoing process with ongoing access to living a stress-free, bliss-filled life of abundance, whatever that means to you. You can redefine the very nature of what is possible. If you're ready for positive, permanent shifts in your life, well, this is the time. These shifts are the direct cause of a new and unique type of freedom and immense power. It's the freedom to be at ease and the power to be effective in all areas that matter. The quality of your relationships, the confidence in which you live your life, your personal productivity, and your experience of the difference you make. And most important, your enjoyment of this game that we call life. Do me a favor. Take a few moments and read my story down there. See if you can relate to it. My goal in life is helping people awaken to the fact that they have immense power locked inside them, and they alone hold the key. Are you ready to take that next step to the life you've always wanted? Only you can answer. I'll see you on the other side.